Oh, so the magician.
Mm-hmm. And I love that your notes say initially caught the interest of Darth Sidious. I know there's a rest of that sentence, which makes more sense, but just the beginning of it makes it seem like he totally like he swiped right on her like real quick. Like he was like,
It's like,
oh,
damn.
super like.
Hello, and welcome to Star GAYZ, where we're not only force sensitive, we're fear sensitive.
Love that. We're talking about strong female characters today. Um the Leia episode, I feel like I was quite on a soapbox.
Were you?
we're gonna we're gonna try and lighten it up this go around. Sprinkle some others in and maybe not listen to me just like complain about it for an hour. Um, I was on a
It was
mission last
entertaining
time.
nonetheless.
I'm glad you thought so. Um, I hope everybody out there in space agrees. Speaking of strong female characters, my daughter is I'm pretty sure she's going to be a serial killer, which in a way is a strong female character. Is that empowering?
That takes that.
There aren't
And
a lot of
in a
female serial killers.
male dominated field,
Yeah,
mind you. That's
exactly.
that's
She's
great. Good
she's
for her.
paving. She's paving.
She's
I got
walking so someone else can run.
I got the printed version of her school pictures today.
Did they send you
Yeah,
the right one?
they did send me that. It is the correct child.
Okay, good.
So this the school photography company like graciously sent me photos of another child if I just wanted to claim that one instead,
Compare and contrast a little bit.
which initially I was like really offended by, but then when I got the actual photos of my daughter, I was like, no, this makes sense. Like that was actually really nice of them. Um and she looks exactly like the Jeffrey Dahmer mugshot. Like down to the glasses, which is horrifying. And as it is, she's already like hurting people at school. She makes people bleed. She's having fits of rage. Like she's fighting teacher. Like she's doing the whole thing. So she is on her way, but she's strong. So
She's a strong, independent woman.
yeah, I am in a weird way proud. She had a really good day today, and I was like, oh wow, like that's really surprising. And they were like, well, she was student of the day today, so it's like this thing they do where they pick a student and then they have to write on this giant paper like everything they love about that person and why that person rocks. And I was like, that's why she had a great day, because everybody
I probably have
worshipped
a
her
great
all
day
day.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I picked her up, and then we're leaving, and some girl with her dad was like, oh my god, bye Leia, that's her name, her name's Leia. And I was like, does she owe you money? Like, is
She
she
now
paying
has a
you?
following.
Yeah, I was like, is she under your protection? Like, what's happening? Um, and she didn't really say anything. She just kind of looked at her as we walked through the parking lot. And I was like, hey, say bye to your friend. And she was just like, okay. To the parking lot. I was
I
like,
was gonna
great.
ask, is she typically quiet? Because it's the quiet ones you have to look out for, but it sounds like she may be.
She's quiet at home, like super quiet. She kind of talks like Jeffrey Dahmer. Like she's like, yeah, doing this. Like very nonchalant. But I guess at school, like she is just like she's like Linda Blair in The Exorcist, like just on one.
Good
And I'm
for
like,
her.
whoa, yeah. So anyway, strong female characters.
Great
um,
segue.
yeah, your mom strikes me as a strong female character.
You know, she really is frustrating, but she is a strong female character.
She is
And I love her dearly
female.
for if she
Yeah,
listens to it. I don't think she will, but just in case,
yeah.
cover it on the bases.
Hey, sometimes women gotta be fierce. Star Wars is actually full of female characters, and they're often sidelined or overlooked or tucked away in some other dude's story, which is unfortunate. Unless you're Ray, where then everybody hates you because it's your story.
Because it is your story. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then they just hate the story altogether. It's really
Well,
sad.
okay, so how did you feel about Ray's story and it being the central theme to the last two movies?
Um, I didn't mind it. I was very fascinated by her story. It was haphazardly thrown together, but to be honest, and we kind of talked about this last time. So was Luke's, so was Leia's. Like they're all. It's kind of a theme. Um,
Yeah.
I will say I appreciated actually the Last Jedi. I know, like everyone, this is where everybody shuts it off. But I actually really appreciated the Last Jedi making her nobody because I was like, oh, it's great. I don't need her connected to anybody like by some crazy lineage. And then everybody didn't like that. So then they were like, but what if she was nobody, but also a Palpatine? Yeah,
Palpatine.
out of nowhere. And I was like, okay, which I'm fine with. I don't mind that. But I was like, okay. But overall, I think her story is really cool. I think her choice in men is very questionable. But but I guess if you've been living alone on a sand dune your whole life, the first shirtless dark side wielder is pretty appealing to you, I guess. I don't know. Did you like Ray?
I did. Um, I agree that it definitely seems like her story is thrown together, picked apart, and then hot glued in certain places. But
Hot glue.
as a character, I thought she was really cool. It was really nice seeing a woman be the main character of the story.
Yeah,
I think by having her the main character of the story, it kind of amplified the other female characters in the story a little bit.
yeah. I do like how butch she is.
Yes, she is very butch.
Yeah, like
She kicked
she's
my ass.
yeah, and I appreciate that. Like she's not a Padme, she's not a Leia, she's not wearing her Oscar outfit to go out into a
I
space
mean,
battle.
even in this lovely photo we have of her right now,
Yeah.
looking very menacing, very,
Yes,
very
she's
angry.
she's not happy to be on the show today.
She's definitely feeling the fear sensitive right now.
Yes, it is raging through her body. Like lightning. My granddaughter. So weird. Anyways, um, but yeah, aside from her, it's like I think they're doing better. I mean, Ahsoka's getting her own series, which is great for her, and so I think they're doing better. But it is just unfortunate that they're not always like put out in the front. Like you kind of have to think about who they are
Mhm.
uh, before you realize how many of them there actually are, which is kind of insane. They should just, if there's that many, they should just pop into your head. But I think the fact that the only one people think of immediately is like Leia, it's like the cliched one. I think that's very telling. And to be fair, like even Jin, I think gets a bad rap because she's essentially like Rogue One is her movie, but they used it as a spinoff for Cassian.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. In doing the research for this episode of the podcast, I was like reading all this stuff about her. I'm like, oh, she should have her. But it's
Yeah.
Cassian.
Yeah. And she's like fighting with Saga. I wonder if she'll, I guess she wouldn't pop up because they don't cross paths, but I was like, she's doing all kinds of crazy stuff before Rogue One. Like, why? Where's her show? But I guess that's fine. I am happy to see Mon Mothma and Andor. Um, episode 5 of Andor is premiering tonight as we record this. It's nice to see her get like a lot of screen time and really kind of share the show. But I kind of wish she would have her own show too. She could. She's getting like her own like House of Cards storyline, and I'm like, where's that show?
Oh God, that would be fascinating because she does all like the background politics and
Mm-hmm.
for the rebellion and then the Imperial Senate. Oh, I would
Yeah,
love to see
she's up in there, and her arc on Rebels is really good.
that. Mhm.
Um, which I believe is going to overlap with Andor. They kind of reference some stuff from that episode already, so I think we're eventually going to see some of that. But yeah, that's enough about that. So I guess we could talk about some of these individually. So Zach took amazing notes on some of these female characters. He does not want to deliver this information.
I'm not as organized with my thoughts as you are.
Like, yes, I'm super. I was just like, well, that's enough about that. Like, I'm winging it, man. But yes, like Princess Leia, he is just shoving this information to me so I can deliver it to you. I am your R2D2 for the evening. But this is very much a Zach episode, which is very exciting. So first one on Zach's list is Jin, and I think that's a good place to start because we were just talking about her. She's born on the Outer Rim. Yes. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this, but she's from the planet Vault.
That's how I read it. But
Yeah, and
we're
that's
gonna go with bald.
yeah. I can't remember. I did the audiobook for Catalyst, which is her like prequel book. And I can't remember if that's how they pronounced it. But she is the daughter of Galen and Lyra Urso. Galen is one of the chief like Death Star engineers throughout the canon storyline. He does a lot of Kyber research, so the Catalyst novel goes into that a lot. He studies Kyber like really intensely, and that's also kind of why Lyra has the Kyber crystal that she gives Jin. Fun fact: initially, Lyra was going to be a surviving Jedi in Rogue One,
Oh, that
and
would have
then
been cool.
they just didn't want to go there, I think, and then it opens up questions about Jin, and I just don't think they wanted to do it. So um but Lyra is very knowledgeable about kyber crystals, what they meant to the Jedi. A lot of that's because of Galen's research, but she's definitely like the more like, I guess, spiritual one of the two. So anyway, so that's Galen's thing. So he's helping them build the Death Star. At one point he realizes what they're going to use it for, because the Death Star started as a separatist weapon. Fun fact, if we remember from Attack of the Clones, this is really dry stuff. I'm sorry, everybody. But I don't know how to make the Death Star gayer. I'm trying, but
A floating ball in space. How is that not good?
it'd be gay if it was disco. Okay. Put some
Ooh,
mirrors on
side
that
note,
shit.
I saw someone made a disco Death Star out of an IKEA lampshade the other day on TikTok, and it was fierce.
That sounds dangerous though, because then when it fires its beam, it's just gonna be like
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it's not a
envelopes.
working Death Star. It's just
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. No fire
Well,
hazards here.
well, that's good
Just
then.
fabulous.
It just fires fabulosity.
Fires
Um,
confetti
I
and
almost said
glitter. It gets
I almost said
everywhere.
fabuloso, like the Spanish, like mopping solution. Like,
I love Fabulosa. Do you not use Fabulosa?
no, it's good stuff. We get it sometimes, but I have a Swiffer, so I mainly like, I don't always fabuloso it up. You know what I mean?
I wonder if they would have used Fabulosa on the Death Star.
Probably. Probably on Star Killer base too. Like Finn was probably like sprinkle, sprinkle, mop, mop, mop. Fabuloso. Uh, I've never seen the
Hashtag not fun.
commercials. Yeah, not sponsoring us. They especially won't now. Anywho, so the Death Star was a separatist thing. So Palpatine playing both sides made it seem like the Republic captured the plans, even though the Geonosians designed it. This whole thing. Rebels goes into this a lot. So the Republic then starts building one, which is why by the end of Revenge of the Sith, they're already building it, is because they thought it's kind of like a nuclear arms race. Like, we'll build it first, and that'll show them. So Galen gets wise, especially when they keep building it after the war's over. He's like, what do we need this for?
What's the point?
Yeah. And so he leaves. So he refuses to help. And then the Empire, being the douches that they are, like, well, here's the funny thing, like, you're gonna help us.
You
So
can't just like walk away from that.
right. So then they get smuggled out by Saw Gerrera and put into hiding. And then that's kind of where Rogue One eventually opens up. So that's Jin's story and Galen's story. Good stuff. But then, of course, when Galen's captured and forced to still complete the Death Star, poor guy. Lyra gets herself shot, which is dumb. Really bothers me every time she does that in the movie. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Why would you go back? She gets taken in by Saw Gerrera and gets kind of raised by him in his terroristic, very extreme version of the rebellion, which is rough. But I'm glad she turned out okay. She's got a good head on her shoulders despite being raised by someone crazy.
Absolutely crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
certifiable. Probably one of my least favorite characters in Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah. I
For those
appreciate
reasons.
yeah, I appreciate his arc and it's cool to see him used so much now, but I'm like, dude, this guy's annoying. Like, he's bothering me. It's too much. Let's move on to someone gayer that I appreciate. Padme Amidala, who, in case you're wondering, Zach has no notes on.
None are needed.
None are needed. Yeah, man. What bothers me about her in Revenge of the Sith is she's just like barefoot and pregnant the whole time.
She's portrayed as very so like the vibe you get from Padme in the Clone Wars series is that she's a very like go-getter, hard-headed, like ambitious, and it's just not translated in Revenge of the Sith. Like she
Yeah.
seems very passive and just like, oh, these things are happening around me. I'm gonna stand in my glorious penthouse apartment and cry about it. Like
Yeah.
there is no action Senator Amidala in Revenge of the
No.
Sith.
No. She just like changes into like a sensible pantsuit when she goes at the end of Mustafar. Her like maternity action outfit.
Macy's Coruscant chapter maternity wear.
So weird. It's just a dramatic shift from her being like so independent and so sure of herself. And then Revenge of the Sith, she's just like brushing her hair for 2 hours, like, oh, Annie. And I
Yelling, yelling.
it's so annoying. And then she's walking around like picking up his jackets and his robes and shit. I was like, what is happening? What happened to you, girl? No.
Love does some crazy things. I guess.
Yeah. But I get she's another one, man. She really knows how to pick them. I think the at the end of the day, like, just don't date a Skywalker. Like, they're trash. Like, they're just awful.
They're garbage.
Except maybe Leia, who's made it
Okay,
very
I was gonna say
clear.
maybe Leia not so much. But
And she's made it very, very clear she wants nothing to do with the Skywalker name. So maybe she's all right.
I think in her early life is really interesting. Like her becoming the queen of Naboo and
Yeah.
falling in love with a child. Like all those things are really fascinating.
Yeah. Uh, her extreme mental health issues that she clearly
Yeah,
has.
yeah. But
Um,
but her makeup always on point. Fashion, amazing.
yeah, love that. And she, what I really appreciate her is that she surrounded herself with a posse that looks just like her. And I kind of want to do the same thing. So, like, it was all my
Like it's
friends,
so
like,
iconic, you know, just
yeah,
like you love yourself so much. Like
yeah,
everyone
exactly.
look like me and dress like me.
Yeah, and protect me. And just know you're the fake me's. So if I'm in danger, you have to be in danger for me.
You better jump in front of that blaster.
If a rapist jumps out, I'm like, wait.
Hold up. What about one of my crew
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. All look exactly like me and are trained to keep their mouth shut.
Yeah. So, you know, win-win for both of us.
Yeah. um Padme's kind of dark.
Is she edgy? Is Padme edgy? Have we not
she's
went
got
down this road?
she's got stuff going on. It's
Uh,
kind of weird. She loves child slaves. It's this whole thing. Okay, so let's move on. I was gonna take that to an even weirder place. We don't need to go there. Uh, Mon Mothma, representative of Chandrilla. I love her. Um, and good for Genevieve O'Reilly, who plays her in Rogue One and Andor, because she was in Revenge of the Sith in a deleted scene and she got cut, which by all means should have not only been the
this is fine.
right. She was like, I'm in this movie, and then she's like, I'm not. um, so, and I mean, and I love Genevieve O'Reilly, but I'm like, I don't really know what else she's done. So, by all
I
means,
believe she, I only can think of this because Overwatch 2 just came out. She voices Moira in Overwatch 2, who is a
oh,
completely badass character, by the way. She's like this scientist that like does damage and heals. Very dark,
really?
very smart. One of my favorite Overwatch characters.
That's so random. Good for her. Another
Yeah,
strong female character. Um, but good for her. I mean, she was cast initially, I think, just because she kind of looked like the original actress. um,
and
and
she does. I mean, the
yeah, to
resemblance
be
is
fair.
spot on.
And then she does one scene in Revenge of the Sith and then gets cut, which was not good for the character and not good for the her career.
It wasn't
um,
that scene like her, Bale, and Padme talking about like the state of the
yes,
Senate and all that. I would have loved to have seen that scene.
which in my head canon, like what I consider to be canon, probably still occurred. I like to think that that scene occurred.
Mhm.
Um, because and they kind of like it hint to it in the Clone Wars, I think, because she's part of they have their little own posse, right? Like they're always together, they're always kind of scheming together to get stuff done that they feel is best, even though a lot of the other senators clearly don't have the best interests at heart, and so they're trying, and I could definitely see that scene still playing out. And it's, as we're seeing so far in Andor, like she's definitely doing what is discussed in that scene where she's within the government kind of rebelling a bit and keeping an eye on other people across the galaxy who might be doing the same to eventually hopefully unite all of these different people as rebellion kind of breaks out all over the galaxy.
Yeah, it's like until Rebels, she has like one foot in the door and one foot out because she's trying to like
Uh-huh.
tie up loose ends and make sure everything will transfer smoothly when she
Yeah.
completely dips.
And there's an event. So it used to be canon. It's not canon anymore, but they reference it in Rebels. I can't remember the name of the planet. I should have wrote this down myself. I totally forgot. Um, but they reference that something like tragic happens and she knows the Empire did it to them. And that's like the last straw. So she makes a big uproar about it, leaves, makes a speech about it. That's where the rebels have to pick her up in Rebels, right? So um and they reference it in Andor because she mentions to her husband that all the people he's invited to dinner have just like shut down their shipping lanes or whatever they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
supply lanes or something like that. So she's like, they're gonna starve, right? So they're already being mistreated. So I think they're planting the seed. So in season 2 we see that event happen, um, which is fantastic. Um, do. And yeah, she's not a big fan of Palpatine, like at all. Like, um, she's very vocal about it. Um, your notes say she's worked with male Organa,
No.
and
I just saw that.
I love that.
in case in case his sex was in question at all. We just made it part of his name.
Not the female one, just the male one.
Just the
Uh,
male Organa. I'm gonna
oh
use
god,
Microsoft Word next time to do spell check.
yeah.
It probably wouldn't even
I
catch that because the mail is spelled properly.
it's like he's bringing the mail. Like she works really closely with her mailman.
We're on a last name basis.
Yeah. Oh god. Um she's also Return of the Jedi. She's obviously like the big part of that. She sets up the indoor battle, all of that stuff, which is where initially it's the first time we see her. Um Real quick though, I just want to talk about the absolute homosexual samurai that is her husband. What is that? Like we're agreed, right?
Well, in addition to being a really accomplished politician, she's also a very accomplished beard.
I love first her penthouse. I stand. I wanna live in that
Oh,
penthouse.
yes.
Just the regality. Um,
See how big that dining room table was?
yeah.
I can invite my entire family, extended included, and we would still not sit at that table.
Yeah, her whole dinner set, the whole thing was like just so good. There's I saw this Real Housewives clip where this one of the Real Housewives is like going nuts about Jamie Lee Curtis. And Jamie Lee Curtis is like pipping out this charity to them. So she's like showing them like basic, it's like ball caps, like t-shirts, like license frames. And because this chick is like so obsessed with Jamie Lee Curtis, she's just like fangirling over all of it. Like she's just like, oh my God, like it's just so chic. And she pulls out a wind chime and she does like this rich woman accent, which I love how rich women talk. And she just goes, Jamie, that is the chicest wind chime I have ever
We
seen. And
should do a whole episode in Netflix.
then, and then she pulls out like a dog tag. She's like, yeah, we make like dog tags or whatever, like for a dog, right? And she's just like, oh, Jamie, I mean, it's just so chic. It's like, what is happening? But that's what I thought of when I looked at Mon Mothma's like apartment. I'm just like, that is the chicest spoon I have ever. Like, I want that whole dining set. Um, and I love that she's away, like earning the bread and butter, and her husband's like, oh, I planned a fancy dinner party. Everyone's coming over.
Oh, and none of them like you.
Well, they're my girlfriends, Mon. Um,
You don't have to sit with that.
yeah, I'm allowed to have friends too. Um, anyway, I'm done with her. The next one you have on your list is Yaddle, which I love.
I've loved Yaddle ever since I saw her in puppet form in the Phantom Menace, which they then took out when they remastered it.
Somebody did a comparison when they announced her for Tales of the Jedi, and it's like, oh, she's back. And they put like a picture of her from Phantom Menace, and she looks like she is strung out. Like she's holding up a cardboard sign on a curb, like with a baby
Will do
stroller
force
full of
tricks for
cans.
food.
Yeah.
I was so sad when we rewatched. So I have like the steel case. I'm collecting the steel case movies of the
Oh,
Star
I
Wars.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's not in it because they took her out. They took the puppets out, and they did animated Yoda and everything like he is in Attack of Clones, and the Yaddle's not there anymore. I was like, I'm actually a member of the council.
Yeah. Makes Tales of the
Outrage.
Jedi real awkward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder what they're gonna do. Like, I'm wondering if she's not canon in that point of the timeline anymore. I'm getting a vibe Dooku's gonna kill her in the show. So
I'll be so upset.
I
Dooku
really
kills
think
her.
that's the vibe I get, is that she catches him doing something and he's like, well, time to end this. Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
he's like, Aunt Yaddle, where?
Let me show you something.
Yeah, be our little secret. Um,
Just like geek throughout the temple. She's in one of those hover things that Yoda's in around the temple. She just like pushes it down the stairs.
and then someone in a speeder coming back from the store, and then he just hits his windshield. Oh god.
Did anyone see anything? Just keep going.
Oh.
Oh, poor Yaddle.
Oh yeah, stupid bitch. How long have we been recording? I haven't even been tracking time.
I don't know.
Okay, well maybe I'll do like one or two more, and then we'll do part two some other time. Oh, Mother Talzin. Love her.
Icon. She is the
Yeah,
moment.
she is fantastic. She is a Shaw woman, and I'm here for it. She leads the Night Sisters, which also great Korean K-pop band name. Yeah. Night Sisters of Death. Maybe that's a different genre. If you put the whole thing, it becomes a very different type of band. Magic force wielder, which just sounds delightful. Like, I'm not a force wielder, I'm a magic force wielder.
Don't lock me in with those other magicians.
Mm-hmm. And I love that your notes say initially caught the interest of Darth Sidious. I know there's a rest of that sentence, which makes more sense, but just the beginning of it makes it seem like he totally like he swiped right on her like real quick. Like he was like,
Like,
oh,
damn.
super like. And I think that's hilarious.
I'm gonna be so aware of how I phrase and spell things on notes going forward.
And then super insultingly like shows up to her planet and he's like, I want to train the most powerful dark sider, so give me this baby. And she's like, what? She gets Savage Opress, right? And she uses him as a way to, I mean, there's this whole arc I'm not going to get into, but she gets Maul back because of him. And I just love it.
Maybe.
Yeah. And I love that he has another brother and she just doesn't even care about that one. She's just like, no, you can kill him.
Just the two.
Yeah. It must have been her like court ordered child. I was I was reading about Sherry Shepherd today. That's why I bring that up, because Sherry Shepherd, she has her new talk show. And she's talking about her kids, and I was like, didn't she not want one of them? And I like looked it up, and yeah, it's because she had one via surrogate. So it's like not biologically hers because they had it via surrogate and an egg donor. But then when her and her husband divorced, like a year or two later, she tried to contest it and be like, well, I don't want this kid anymore then. It was
Oh,
all
that's
over the news.
awful.
Yeah,
Poor
and the court
kid.
was like, no.
That's not how that works.
So now she's raising him, but I'm like, he's gonna Google her one day, and the USA Today article where she didn't want him and was forced to keep him, like,
I
it's gonna
wonder if
come
he's
out.
getting the same treatment that Harry Potter did from the Dursleys, like covered under the stairs and everything.
uh, I think Sherry's funny though. She's all laughs. Um Also, this bitch can go to the spirit world. And I think that's awesome. Just a world full of spirits. And
I wish I could go, but I think it's a one-way trip.
yeah. And she goes there after her clan is completely wiped out. Even as Ventress is like, no, stay with me. I'm here. And she's like, yeah.
Not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, though.
She's like, initiating you ended my sorority. Like, we're good.
Forever sisters until right
Happy badge day. Bye. Oh man. What now? So let's see. I'll do one more. Although I am very excited to get to size noodles. Uh Duchess Satine. That's actually a fantastic one. And I wish she was on my little background. She's a fantastic one. Also, great sense of style. Um, Sometimes she's a whiny little bitch, but not always. Uh,
now. In
she's
her
very,
efforts to remain neutral.
yeah, she's very much a pacifist, and sometimes, man, that's annoying. Because even like when it comes to self defense, like I just feel like she doesn't do enough, and I'm like, you're Mandalorian, right? Like
Man up.
your butch ass sister, like is so is so much more of a warrior than you. But I'm like, didn't y'all forge armor together? Like yours has to be in a closet somewhere.
A box under her bed.
Yeah.
A
So like
storage unit.
maybe when Death Watch shows up, like I don't know, keep it handy behind the throne. um Anywho's. Um cl- Close friend of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Just roommates. Nothing more. We we were at a
Passing the hall
camp
from time to
together.
time.
Yeah. um Sometimes she sends him some Snapchats, nothing major. Um, she's like, remember what you're missing? Um, you're still celibate. Anyways,
How's that going?
it's like, it was just so warm in my throne room. I took my gown off. Um, why do I go to these places? I'm so sorry. Um, None of this was in Star Wars. Okay.
That we know.
Yeah, what else about her? That's kind of it. Like, what else does she do? Die?
Yeah, I mean, personally, there's not so much except that she um
Her nephew Corgi.
um that she founded the Council of Neutral Systems for the war between Republic
That's
and
true. Yes,
Separatists.
she did. Yeah, she did do that. That is an excellent point. Um,
Gave them
and
someone to fight over, I guess.
and I do respect that about her. Like, she just doesn't even. Palpatine's playing both sides of this thing, and she's like, "No, this doesn't make any sense. I'm not doing that."
I don't feel like playing.
She's like, "This seems dumb AF." uh,
We in Mandalore don't do that anymore,
yeah.
so
What's a dark saber? Um,
never heard of her.
and then there's her lesbian sister. It's like, where's my dark saber? You're a disgrace. Punch beer. Anyways, beer me. Yeah.
Brushes it on her head.
Yeah. Oh god.
Death Watch. Fuck yeah.
It's just outside skinning our dinner. Um, Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna say Bo-Katan for next time.
Open with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna expand on that. I just think
Confirmed Butch.
yeah, I think we're gonna retcon her origin a little bit. Yeah, so I think we're gonna do a part 2 just because there are a lot. And we got through about half this list, which I think is a good place. So out of all of the ones we just talked about, who's the gayest?
I mean, I think the most fabulous is Mother Talbot.
Oh, work. I really I
Yeah,
want her
like
outfit.
I want to be her. Like, I mean, alive, not dead. But like, yeah, work, sis.
Yeah. I have a thing for like outfits with like big shoulders like that shoot
Yeah,
out.
we're like,
Hmm.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
love that. That's why Jafar was always my favorite villain in Aladdin.
I'd love to see Mother Talbot on Drag Race.
Yeah, yes. I love that. She could be the
The
host.
other contestants just start dropping. Like,
She's like a Boulay brother.
yes,
Um,
the long lost Boulay sister. Mother
Welcome, sisters.
Talbot.
Oh God. In terms of the other ones, so far, I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna go the other direction, and I'm gonna say Jin because she's butch too.
Yeah, probably learned a
Um,
lot of things being a criminal. Not that like
yeah.
butch lesbians are criminals or anything, but it's a hardened
Hmm.
lifestyle.
Yeah, but I like that about her. She don't really care. Like even in this photo, like, you know, she could use a hot iron, but she doesn't.
Mm-mm. Zero F. Got a job to
No.
do.
She could do a colored lip, does she? No.
You know,
Um,
Mon Mothma also gives me that vibe, that gay
that's
vibe.
you
Like
know,
maybe they're mutual beard. You know, like it's not something that is gonna fly in political life, so they had to make an arrangement.
yeah,
And this is just like he clearly decorated that place,
yeah,
and she's
that's
just happy
all
to be there.
him. Yeah, she has no idea what's going on.
Mhm.
But she,
Just shows up, wins dinner,
but she probably remodeled
probably herself,
it.
tool
uh,
belt and all.
I'm about to install the light fixtures. Uh,
I need that
smoke.
spin.
Already taken the wall in the bedroom. Um,
She strikes me if she was a smoker that she would use that thing Cruella de Vil uses
uh-huh.
to like,
Yeah.
because let's keep it classy.
Mm-hmm. And then she'd put it out on her husband's chest.
Take care of that too.
What is wrong with me? Hmm. I think our first guest will be my therapist. Okay. Yeah, anything else?
Yeah, I think this was a really good compilation of a part one for prominent women of the Star Wars universe.
Cool. So yeah, we'll do a part 2. I think I'll sprinkle it out somewhere. So I'll leave it. We use a That sounds stupid, but we use a wheel to decide our episodes. A random wheel. It's a very Wheel of
Don't
Fortune.
discount the wheel. The wheel is fantastic.
Wherever the force guides us, that is where the wheel goes. Um, so I'll leave it on the wheel. So next time it comes up, we'll do this part 2, which I think will be fantastic. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. But the next episode we're going to talk about is toys, and I'm excited for that. Actual toys children play with, not whatever Padme is using. I don't know. I gotta stop. I gotta stop doing this.
Just keep going.
Yeah, nobody's gonna sponsor this show. This is a mess. Anywho's, but thanks for listening, everybody. If you are listening, I hope you are. Otherwise, we'd be talking to ourselves, and we're already doing that now. So it would be weird to like put it out there and just listen to it again. But I hope that other people are listening to it. I think that would be awesome if y'all subscribed and reviewed us so other people can see us and listen to us. So we talk about gay space shit. So with that being said, thank you for joining us. Make sure you watch Star Wars. They need it, man. They're really suffering. And may the Fierce be with you.